In 2019, a user on the renowned website known as 4chan posted an image of an eerie yet familiar picture of what seemed to be an empty office space with tan yellow wallpaper around every corner, soggy carpet floor, and dim lighting. Eerie enough as it was, an anonymous user followed the image with a description that would take a grasp on the world. If you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. Little did people know, the so-called creepypasta of this 4chan post would spark a worldwide craze leading to a world of multiple stories, YouTube videos, games, and now an entire cinematic film. Though the years have passed since the beginning of this fan-favorite creepypasta, many have begun to see the overpopulation of this once small individual horror story. However, as the world of this creepypasta slowly falls into the line of poor mainstream horror, millions still hold high praise for what many could say has become the most horrifying alternate reality: the Backrooms.
Oh my God,
The idea of being trapped alone in a dim, dark, eerie place is almost similar to the feeling of being home alone. To me, and to many, that is what sparks that unsettling feeling we have in our minds when we see images like these. For the longest time, many people have known to have a fear of the familiar, yet the empty, and in some cases, this is called liminal space. A small example of a pre-Backrooms film about alternate realities and the unknown of liminal spaces is the 2019 film Vivarium, a film where a couple moves into a new suburban home and are met with a horrifying reality with no way of escape. Though I did not like this movie too much, I think there are many who may find this movie creepy and disturbing, given its Backrooms-like feel and its disturbing atmosphere. Now, when it comes to liminal space, an explanation I ripped out of Google is: liminal space is a transitional state, either physical or metaphorical, that exists between two different states or places. It's often characterized by uncertainty, ambiguity, and a sense of being caught between what was and what's coming next. These spaces can evoke a range of emotions, including nostalgia, excitement, and unease. For me, an example would be empty shopping malls. Think of all the times you have gone into a shopping mall, packed with people, and even after closing, still full of many shoppers exiting at the same time as you. But imagine being in a mall after the doors have shut, after all the loud chatter, footsteps, and sounds of rustling bags have left completely. The silence that fills the large empty space, and nothing but you in the emptiness. Creepy, right? That's because deep down we're used to these types of places being full of life. So to see the light and noise stripped from a place like this, our mind treats it as almost someplace new. Someplace obviously familiar, but not how we remember it. It's the feeling of isolation where we begin to realize that being somewhere this empty shouldn't be right. And though we are alone in this large empty place, we feel as if we are not. Coming back to the Backrooms, this is the exact feeling we have with these types of images. Empty supermarkets, malls, playgrounds, schools, always usually full of life, but yet so empty and silent. As interesting as this feeling is, and as creepy as it may be, the idea of this type of horror for a creepypasta is something that can only go so far. For the Backrooms, the idea is to escape this horrifying reality and get back to ours. Simple, though many have tried to flip the script on this horrifying story, creating new lore that has to do with secret government plans, underground corporations doing experiments on different realities, and etc. The many different depictions of the Backrooms will always be creepy. Though, as the years would come, more and more depictions of the Backrooms would come out through thousands of fan content and video game creators, taking the Backrooms on a roller coaster of popularity and bringing tons of joy to people across the world. The rise of the Backrooms began when Kane Parson, mainly known as Kane Pixels on YouTube, released his first entry of a fan-made Backrooms found footage video. A video reminiscent of popular found footage films often used for horror elements like VHS and the Blair Witch Project. This found footage concept created a sense of eeriness and realism, making the video feel immersive, almost like we are some sort of investigator who discovered this film and are watching the unexplainable events unfold before us. This video by Kane Pixels sparked a fire, and not long after, the concept of the Backrooms went completely mainstream, when games such as the Backrooms game, the Backrooms Project, Inside the Backrooms, and my two personal favorites, Backrooms Escape Together and Escape the Backrooms. All these games released simultaneously as many game creators alike began to create their own versions of found footage like Backrooms experiences. Only then, with each new game that released, new Backrooms levels would come to light as many fan-made sub-levels would only make the Backrooms concept even bigger, such as the Habitable Zone, Pipe Dreams, the Pool Rooms, Level Run, Level Fun, and etc. Now, as of May 2025, thousands of fan-made Backrooms levels with their own entities and descriptions exist, which you can find on the Backrooms wiki and take a look for yourself at just how big this creepypasta really is. The rising growth of the Backrooms and its fan base isn't hard to break down. For years, creepypastas have randomly gained popularity and have sparked fires around the world that end up becoming big-time games, YouTube series, books, and all those things. The only difference being is that the Backrooms has such an open variety of potential. The idea of this creepypasta is not just another horror icon to become overgrown on, like Slenderman or Jeff the Killer. The Backrooms has so much space for creativity. Different types of entities can be created and utilized. The idea of levels is easy to create because just an empty shopping mall or a supermarket could be called a Backrooms level. It's just the simplicity of what the Backrooms is and the eeriness of that lonely feeling, but not ever truly feeling alone, that creates the perfect concept of horror that makes it so easy to create with. And it's exactly why the Backrooms is one of my all-time favorite horror concepts, along with millions all over the world. Multiple fan-made found footage projects have come around over the years depicting the Backrooms, and many of them I have come to enjoy watching. However, as the years have come, and as the Backrooms popularity grows and grows, like every other trending topic, there will always be the bad sides, the bad mods, the content with no love, the horrible cash grab game after game after game, the things that will always spit bad reputation onto the good things we have. This is what we call too much of a good thing, but to put it more simply, way too much Backrooms. For this segment of the video, I want to make some things clear. I am not in any way trying to shame or put down any game creator, artist, or fan of the Backrooms. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and in this world, anybody is allowed to create whatever they want. I am not a video game creator, and I could not in a million years make a perfect game or found footage video based around the Backrooms better than what already exists. So I just want to make it clear that anything I say here is just my opinion, and if some agree and some others, that's completely up to the viewer. Anyways, I think it's pretty safe to say that over the years, the Backrooms has become a little much. Now when it comes to trends and creepypastas, it's normal for multiple different mods to exist. Multiple low-quality games that really have no redeeming factors, and sometimes even just fan events created by big-time YouTubers. However, many of these things that exist around the idea of the Backrooms are just flat-out poor, low-quality, generic mainstream content. If you look at big-time, huge player-based games like Roblox, you'll see that there are hundreds upon hundreds of fan games that exist utilizing the Backrooms creepypasta, and many of them just flat-out suck. It may be that the creator just isn't a big-time video game creator, or some may just be for money grabs, but either way, a lot of these are just not good. And I'm not talking about the good ones that actually have time put into them, like a Paraphobia, but the random Backrooms morphs, or the Huggy Wuggy Backrooms escape. Now, I know you might be thinking that yes, anybody could make anything they want, and like I said, anybody can make anything they want. But when you look up Backrooms games on Steam and on Roblox and on mods for games like Minecraft, you could be scrolling for hours, and a lot of what you'll see is just random low quality content compared to the actual many good Backrooms fan content that exists out there. To any creator who has actually made good quality content and good quality or fun Backrooms games, I truly do applaud you, because I know there are many of you out there. However, a lot of these games get pushed aside. As the fanbase becomes so overgrown, many tend to push away from the idea of the Backrooms and miss out on the good fan content that obviously had lots of work put into it. Finding a good quality Backrooms fan project is fairly harder to find now that the popularity has grown so over the hedge. It's just like a dump truck of Backrooms content was just dumped onto the internet, and whatever good thing you find is just one out of the many. It's a shame that I truly believe that the Backrooms has grown too mainstream for its own good. And still, while a lot of good Backrooms content continues to be released, it's disappointing that a lot of content surrounding this creepypasta continues to just be poor quality cash grab for views and likes. Of course, I do agree that mainly every good trendy thing to come out is bound to become mainstream slop one way or another, but that doesn't mean that people like me aren't allowed to feel tired of all the same rinsed and repeated Backroom stuff that comes out. Therefore, my opinion will always stand with the idea that there is just too much Backrooms nowadays, and the creepypasta was just much better when there was less content surrounding it, because it truly felt special. But unfortunately, and of course, not every good thing lasts forever. Really quick, I just want to explain that I was originally going to add a segment of this part of the video where I talk about the overgrown lore of the Backrooms and how wild and confusing it is and how many variations there are. But it's not really much of a complaint I have, so I pretty much scrapped it from this video. But if you would like to see a separate video where I dive into different variations of the Backrooms lore and do my best to work my head around everything, let me know in the comments. It would really help. Anyways, the conclusion. In the end, I really do think that the Backrooms is a super fun, creepy, disturbing piece of media that is bound to stick with the world for the next coming years. I love the Backrooms and have adored a lot of the content that comes out surrounding it. Though there are plenty of bad things surrounding this creepypasta, it's safe to say that the Backrooms leaves lots of room for creativity. And to the many people that also love the idea of the Backrooms horror, there is definitely much more to come. Through the mystery, the popularity, and the oversaturation, I am happy to say that I will always be a big fan of the Backrooms because this scares the crap out of me. Anyways, yeah, Backrooms.